this.
And one thing we haven't done is raise income taxes on families making less than $250,000 a year.
All right, so income tax is out, value-added tax is not necessarily. My next guest thinks that a VAT tax is indeed on the table. Georgia Republican Congressman Phil Gingrich joins me now. Congressman, the White House is denying it. I want you to listen to what Robert Gibbs specifically had to say on the issue when our own Major Garrett raised it earlier today.
Is there anything that this administration is doing to consider, calculate, propose in any way, shape, or form, weigh or measure potential deficit implications or economic implications of a value-added tax?
This is not something the President has proposed, nor is it under consideration.
Dead issue? You think that means it's dead, Congressman? Congressman, can you hear me?
Neil, I don't think it means it's dead. One of his top economic, I can hear you well, his top economic advisor, Paul Volcker, says in a speech to the American Historical Society that's on the table, and they're studying it. I'll guarantee you they're looking at it, because there's no way they can pay for all this spending. They just got to. You can only tax the rich, the so-called rich, making over $200,000 a year, so much. And of course, they're gonna add all that FICA tax to the so-called rich, starting in 2013, 2014, not indexed for inflation. That's just like the alternative minimal tax, which was put in place, what, 30 years ago, to make sure that 9 ultra-rich people in the country paid some
fair
income
enough,
tax.
Congressman, but
now,
so
because
you
it was
think,
not indexed for inflation, it covers 20 million. Yeah.
Okay, so you're arguing that they might not be considering it immediately now, but it is under consideration. So this idea of a federal 5% sales tax, which would be a quarter of what the average is in Europe, is under serious consideration, if for no other reason than to pay for all this spending.
Absolutely. And do you see any modification, simplification of the income tax, the 16th Amendment? No talk about having a flat tax that Steve Forbes and Dick Armey promoted so effectively, and the national retail sales tax, completely eliminating the federal income tax, with getting rid of the 16th Amendment, with John Linder and Neil Bortz right here in Atlanta promoted so strongly. No, they want to continue the high federal taxation and add on this VAT tax to boot.
All right, now if it were to go through, Congressman, there are a lot of cities that already have pretty steep sales taxes right now. We're taking a look at some of the more noteworthy, including Chicago, where 10.25% would instantly go up to 15.25%. LA would go up to almost 15%, and on we go. What would the effect, do you think, be?
Neil, the effect would be the average taxation of the American citizen, which include his local, state, and federal tax, is probably in the range of 27% now. It would look like what the average taxation is in member countries of the European Union, which is well over 45%. In fact, their income tax is in the range of 45%, and the VAT tax, while for membership in the European Union starts at 10%, some of them go up to 18, 20% on top of the 46%. So, I mean, that kind of taxation would completely shut down our economy.
All right, Congressman, thank you very much. So how would a VAT tax play out with the Tea Partiers? We thought we'd ask two of the more prominent members.